lot to go and do. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Duchess Snedeker, here with the classic stylings of Teddy Pendergrass, Barry White, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, all the soulful hits. You just sit right there, take a load off. It's been a hard day's work and you are tired. You're in your weekend, you're thinking, what am I gonna do? Work's on Monday. Gotta go to the grocery store, gotta do laundry, there's so much to do. But take a second and soak your ears in some soulful sounds from the certified USDA grade A beef that is the Dutcher Snedeker podcast. Let's get right into it. Soulful. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to adjust that camera. There we go. You can't really see the keys anymore, but you can see me. And you can see the chaos that is continuing to be my office. Today's episode is brought to you unofficially by Zoa Energy Drink. It is The Rock's new energy drink. And I've had an energy drink or two in my day. You know, it's got some vitamins. It seems to have more vitamins and minerals than your average, strictly, like Monster energy drink or your Red Bull. And not as bad of a taste to it. It's one of those things where I bought it because of an ad. Which, that's how ads work. Someone tells you what to buy, and then you buy it. But, I was like, yeah, why not? I want to have a little fun with the Zoa energy drink. But that fun is quickly going to go away because I have a lot to talk about. It seemed like the last 4 days. I'm recording this on Monday, the week before this comes out. The Monday before this comes out. It seems like, to me, that the thought of being a people pleaser has pervaded everything I've done in the last few days. Now, what do I mean by people pleaser? It's something I still struggle with. Because you'd think people pleasing, oh wow, you want to make sure people feel welcomed and happy and accommodating, and you're giving your time and attention and skills to people who need it, and you're collaborating and networking and doing. At some point, you have to take a step back and be like, I can't please everybody, so I'm going to just do what I can in whatever way I can do it. And I was reminded of this mindset from a comedian, Kev on Stage. He was on a podcast interview and was streaming to his Instagram page. And he was talking about how, jokingly like, oh, I'm a 15-year overnight success. Or whatever, however many years. and to emphasize the fact that it's a journey. It's not, I put up a viral video and then suddenly I'm famous. Because I think of a lot of people who've done, they've had a viral hit. They might have had a meme made out of them and they don't really know what to do with it. There's the obsessive girlfriend meme. She tried to build a YouTube career off of that. I don't know if she's still doing YouTube. the dude who did the gospel version of the Golden Girls theme song where he's just riffing in a wig, and it's just funny. That went viral. It's still viral. You know, you can still find it pretty easily. He tried to repeat that, and it, you know, it didn't really stick because I don't know. It's not, it gets funny the you know, the less times you do it, I guess. But, you know, if you expand on that concept, maybe that's, I don't know, where it could be fun and long lasting, but who knows? Attention spans are fleeting also. So what Kev on Stage was talking about was, you know, he'd have some viral clips here and there. He'd have some, you know, bits that were shared, or he'd have some jokes, or, you know, his brand would get shared around. But he's now, you know, in control of everything he does in his career. He's got, you know, 3 different studios where he can hire all of the black, you know, talent, you know, videographers, camera crew, personal assistants. Like, he can just have a whole team hired the way he wants to do it. And he can produce the type of comedy he wants to produce, and he can elevate the type of people he wants to elevate in his circle, in his, you know, network. And, you know, he was saying how it's like impossible to please everybody, so you shouldn't try. You know, you should do what you do. Can, you know, listen to criticism, but improve along the way, and know that there's always going to be people who have criticism, or they're always going to say something. It's never quite perfect. It's never quite the way they want it. It's never the exact perfect way for that. It's never and you know, people are nitpicky. People have opinions. A lot of content is out there. A lot of content is being consumed. A lot of different types of platforms exist. A lot of different types of interactions within those platforms exist. Subcultures, subgroups, you know, live streaming versus just viewing content after the fact, after it's been produced. You know, there's so many different ways people consume things now that it's impossible to serve it up the exact way. It's like if I told you, like, hey, we're going to come over to my house for breakfast. You're like, you're going to come over to my house for breakfast. What do you want? And then you give me a book. And in the book it says, here are not only the eggs I want, it's the exact brand of eggs from the exact store that is not in the state. That is the exact kind of eggs I want. And this is the type of pan I want you to cook it in. And this, you know, it's like they're trying to recreate the best eggs that they've ever had. And it's like, dude, I'm just going to buy some eggs and throw it in and scramble it. I don't know. And this is also a fantasy because I haven't had people over at my house for breakfast in a couple years, you know. So it's fine. But the fact that, you know, no one's going to be happy with anything you do shouldn't be discouraging. You should listen to the people who are out there that are, you know, very, very supportive, vocal, doing things, all that stuff. That being said, also, I find it funny, some of the, you know, thinking about people pleasing, thinking about, you know, the types of people who I interact with, the types of environments I'm in as a musician. It's a lot. It's interesting. You know, I mentioned last week about the lady who, you know, she wanted some Elton John, and, you know, simple context clues might cue you into the fact that, one, I'm not taking requests and even if I was, it wouldn't be during a song. And also, naming a song that's not by Elton John, it's like, what? There is no way I can meet your I want Piano Man by Elton John. I don't know what you want then. But you know, this past weekend, I have to say up front, super happy with all the people who came out to see myself, Jonathan, Mir Cotton, and Madison George. I don't know why I forgot. I see Madison more than I see Jonathan. we had a ton of fun playing different songs, different, we kind of pushing ourselves on stage. It was fun. It had been a while since I had been on stage with people who are listening instead of just playing, and that's in the respect of I haven't really had a gig in 3 months that wasn't online and wasn't solo. But even with here's my thing. Even with restaurants back open, even with the ability to go to a place, get food, be seated for at least an hour, enjoy a meal, enjoy company, enjoy free live entertainment, enjoy convenience in how, parking, convenience in, how to get access to the venue. I guess parking is not always convenient, unless you're parking in the physical parking structure. But that can also get expensive. But let's just say this, all things considered, so many things that we're able to do now. And the majority of people are like, wow, this is so cool. I forgot what it's like to go out of my house and like be able to just sit in a restaurant for a little bit and just be in a different environment, enjoy some food, enjoy different people, enjoy an environment that isn't just my house. And then, with that, I think people have taken a tiny bit, the tiniest, they might not realize it, the tiniest bit, the smallest bit of the convenience, the control, and the comforts of home, and have tried to bring that into an environment that, yes, maybe they did that before. They want an experience that is crafted to their liking. And I'm not talking about, if you have a food allergy and you need something prepared different, or you have, you need somewhere that's accessible for a wheelchair, you can't go up some stairs. Like, I'm not talking about that. Like, these entitled people asking for, all that kind of stuff. It's people who are like, it's like, I like the music, but it's like, but what didn't you like? I get it. You want to have it be perfect. Like if it's like, oh, the sound needs tweaking on the live stream. I've seen those comments. I need to figure that out. There's no sound guy at the venue. It's just, there's no sound person there anymore. So until they hire a new one, it's me and the talent buying team. And that could be addressed. Someone made the suggestion, like, have a microphone so you can interact with the crowd. It's like, okay, yeah, it's dinner music, but I get that. That makes more sense. And it was a good suggestion, and it turned out great. People appreciated the banter. I didn't, try to talk to them the whole night. It was just little interjections. Some people were saying, like, hey, maybe, like, could you, like, we were waiting for the break to be done. Like, where did you guys go? It's like, in my head, it's like, hey, I was waiting for food. I didn't want my bandmates to have to go back up and not eat. I didn't eat until after the show, and I felt it. Like, you're playing, like, close to 3 hours of music, and I didn't, get any food to eat. I'm having to put out a lot of energy. I don't have the performance stamina that I did, in 2019 when I was playing 3-4 nights a week, every week for months. And, it's all these little comments, and the people pleaser brain in me is like, I want to be able to accommodate everything. But at the same time, I just have to realize, and you might be on the receiving end of this, realizing too, like, hey, you can't please everybody. You just can't. There's no possible way. I turn something up, someone wants it turned down. I bring in an electric bass, someone wants an acoustic bass. I bring in something without drums, they want something with drums. I bring in a horn player, they don't want a horn player. I bring in a singer, they don't want a singer. It's like nobody, everybody's like, they expect live music. It's like local live music is supposed to be this. It's supposed to be so much of a service that it has to bend to the whims of every random person. There was a dude who, after I was done playing, requested a birthday song over the PA. And I'm like, this is not, what do you think this is? This is not Applebee's. Or they're going to come out like, happy birthday, wait. Happy birthday from Applebee's to you. We wish it would. Happy birthday. You're a bad person. Why'd you do this? You're selfish. You wanted your attention on your girlfriend, but she's embarrassed, and now you're bad. Happy birthday. You're another year older. Literally everyone has birthdays, so shut up and eat your soup. Happy birthday, you don't get a birthday, cause all the people who are annoyed by this birthday song. Like, happy birthday, you're a piece of garbage, everyone's looking at you and you want attention. This is more about like the spectacle of your birthday, even though you went to an Applebee's, which is like, why is that special? Why is it... Like, it's a restaurant, I get it. You get chicken fingers. You get big old plate of chicken fingers. You can get cheap apps and cheap drinks and cheap whatever. And you just go, happy birthday. These employees are underpaid. Everything you love is a facade made by capitalism. No. I could just go down that rabbit hole. Anytime anyone wants to talk about that, being on the outside of the norm of how people work and live, you pick up on the weird habits people have because they don't interact with the public the same way that an artist does. An artist is constantly consuming their environment, whether it's passively, like in the spaces they inhabit, and, it's subconsciously influencing their writing, or it's literally like the people and places they see. Everyone's got a story on the road. Everyone's got a story at home. Again, it's impossible to please people, but I don't know. That person who, it's like the whole night. There was there ever an indication that this was like a TGI Fridays? It's like, oh, it's a restaurant. They have music. Maybe they'll play a song. And I get it. If you don't ask, it's like, if you don't ask, you'll never know for sure. Here's the ask. Here's what you do. Here's how you tell what your autonomy is in a restaurant. Do you see other people doing it? Do you see anyone else doing anything close to that? Do you see another person at all doing what you are about to attempt to do? Then do not do it. If you know, like, oh, every time I go to Applebee's and I say it's my birthday, I get a free sundae and they clap. Don't get me wrong, I've done the Applebee's birthdays. I've done them. They were fun with family, the memories, fine. Just it's not the listening room. That's not this venue, There's a little bit there's a different vibe to it, and it's still a new venue. People are going to get used to it. It's a different sort of environment than most of the places in the area, but yeah, I just thought it was so funny. It's like you're getting free entertainment after months of not having any music live in the city for like the most part. And then not only is it free, it's in an area where you can get some good food, good drinks, have, conversation. It's not a sit down concert where you have to focus only on entertainment. You can talk about, how funny it was on that camping trip when you forgot a tent and then you had to sleep under the stars and it started raining and that, oh, wasn't that so funny? Like, I hear those conversations. You know, it's not in any specificity. I might pick it up in the ether of like, oh yeah, it's so funny with how you did it. And I'm just sitting there like, oh man, like remember when Bill, like, oh Bill, you always did that thing, Bill. Oh, you're so funny, Bill. Tell them the joke. Tell them the joke when you were like, trying to do you were trying to get that whole like sandwich in your car. And it was like a 30-foot sandwich. Or was that a dream? I don't know, man. We were so trash that day, man. You're my best friend. And speaking to that point, it's the inverse too. I can't please everybody, and not everyone can please me. I don't even necessarily want an environment that's like, like, hey, pay attention to me, because I get it. That's not how people consume music nowadays. Very rarely do I get into a situation where people are attentive, they're listening, there's no other distractions, and they're enjoying the music, and then they go home. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. So infrequent. Most of the time, it's competing with a bar. It's providing an environment more than a performance. The listening room has been a nice balance of both. People are paying attention and clapping, but there's also people who feel comfortable enough to finally enjoy themselves. So I get it. You can't please me with my random, noticing of expectations for a place. But I don't know. It's interesting. I've been thinking about people pleasing. Because it's also my time. It's like I wanna help folks and I want to do things, but there's times I've just had to say no a lot more recently because the project isn't immediately, it's not like, oh, I could knock that out and that's good and that's easy, it's straightforward, it's fine. Or like, oh, it's difficult, but there's a timeline and a budget and whatever. And I'm happy for the work that I'm getting, but there's times where people are asking me of my time or talents or skill sets or whatever, and I don't have the time, and I don't want to give the time, and I have to say no. And then some people, they still are like, well, what about now? What about now? Can you help me, do the thing that takes hours of your day? It's like, no. Especially like I the biggest thing I get is because I'm identified as a booking agent. There's some sort of like expectation that I have, the keys to every venue. I can whisper in their ear and magic will happen, and that's not true. I've only done booking as a service since about 2017. And all of the gigs I was on prior to that, all of the gigs I were on, that doesn't sound right. Whenever I would do a gig, in the past, it was because someone else booked the gig and I was part of a group or part of a project or whatever. But I can't, like, what do you want? I can't, again, people pleasing. I can't magically give you the type of gig that I have or magically give you the type of consistent work that you expect. Like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't started booking yet because, frankly, like, I have other things going on right now that I want to grow and develop while I have these things in my control. So I'm very much like I've learned to weaponize the word no in the past year, especially when, it started out being like, what's the safety of it? How do I keep myself safe and healthy? But it's also just, people, it's like people see all the things that I do and they think he probably needs more work, right? No, I don't. Leave me alone. I've learned how very well from school how to just do all the work myself, all these things. If you want to work with me, if you want to help me, if you want to be part of a collaborative process, if you want to do something to help, combine our time and talents to do things, I'm not going to do things for you. There is a slogan that the Michigan Music Alliance is using called collaboration over competition, and emphasis on the collaboration for me. It's a collaborative effort. It's not I get handed something and then I'm doing a bunch of legwork, or it's like, oh, let's collaborate. I have this idea for a video, and if you do all the music and the video, then I'll put my name on it and we'll be good. It's like, no. Go away. You go do something else. I've got plenty to do. Peace and love. With peace and love. Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love, everyone. Have you seen that video with Ringo Starr? He's like, I'm warning you now with peace and love, love, however he says it. I will not be signing after the 12th or whatever day. It's like he's telling his fans he gets too much fan mail, and any mail that gets sent to him or anything that people want him to sign, they're like, it's like, I'm not signing it. But I don't know, right? People pleasing is complicated. It's a mixed bag of, you want to have people be happy, but being polite shouldn't be at the expense of your sanity. We've learned that. I heard a great anecdote of again, our former Mr. Big Boy President Boy was saying, the way he likes to, and this isn't like me projecting, this is, documented. The way he likes to show off what he does is he appears in a space, like a Mar-a-Lago or a hotel or whatever, something with his name on it. And then he goes around, he says, isn't this the best place you've ever been to? Isn't that the greatest steak you've ever had? Isn't that the most... And, they're sitting there and it's like, okay, and the steak's got gristle. And it's like, who made this? It's kind of weird. But you don't want to be rude to the dude who made the thing, to his face. Like, most people don't want to be rude. He'll be rude to your face. He'll be rude when you're dead. Alive or dead. But, there's a story of Mar-a-Lago. He came around. He's like, "Isn't this the best steak you've ever had?" And everyone's being polite, like, yeah, this is great. I love it. And someone was like, this is how we got here. It's like, if you can't be honest with someone, they're just gonna have it in their head that they're just batting 1,000 every time they do anything, and then they get to a point where they're just immune to like the realisms of criticism. Whether everyone's got their own opinion, obviously, as we've clearly seen about, these types of people in the public sphere, political spaces. But, it's like, if you just got to be honest with people, because if you're polite, it could have unintended consequences. Sometimes you need to be firm and kind, but not polite for the sake of being dismissive. I would rather know if you don't like my music, if you're like, it's not my thing. I've heard people say that about Earth Radio. They're like, yeah, I'm glad you're doing music. It's just, it's not what I listen to. It's like, sure. Yeah. If you're listening to if you're listening to, I don't know, Tim McGraw or Lil Uzi Vert, two people I've never intentionally sought out to listen to. I'm sure they have great songs, but peace and love, I don't listen to them. you know, they're not going to like a band that's kind of a mixed bag of genres. You know, that's just the thing. If you like the color red and somebody's calling a color red on, like, you know, there's a little bit of pink, there's like brighter hues, darker hues, it's like it's red as a spectrum. You know, they just want to see that their favorite red. They want to see the candy, you know, the Valentine's Day candy red or something. But it's like in a way I'd rather know like where people stand, because especially with social metrics, I've been telling people this, you know, yes, someone could have 10 million followers on YouTube. That big number looks cool. But then, you know, they're in the back end being like, all right, so I have this chunk of my audience watches the majority of my videos. They might miss them here or there. They might play catch up. There's this chunk of my audience that anytime a video pops, they're viewing it. They're viewing it within the first day or two. And then from that segment, it's people who then, you know, then go to do the further supportive thing. They click on affiliate links, and when they buy products, they, you know, they use affiliated sponsor codes when they, you know, buy a Ridge wallet or something. And again, I've told people this. If you need someone, who's bought a Ridge wallet, a Casper mattress, you know, things from Podcastville, like, that's me. But, you know, then people who buy merch, people who buy tickets to shows, you know, there's this other metric, and you want to keep everybody entertained. But out of the 10 million, you know, if there's like, you know, 50,000 people that are the ones buying the merch, that's at the end of the day, like, that's going to go a lot further. You know, millions of views on AdSense is probably going to generate some money, but engagement is like the people who are buying merch, buying, you know, tickets, supporting financially, supporting with their time, supporting with sharing, supporting with all these different things. And I would not pretend to expect that from anyone. I know that I have to provide value, and I'm only just starting to tiptoe into that category of providing value with the podcasting I'm doing and the people I'm interacting with, the video content I'm trying to make, the music that I'm putting out, not under my name, but with certain projects. And I don't pretend that, you know, my whole life has been a mystery to some people. They're like, why does he do music? Or I don't like this music. Why is he doing this? He should be doing, you know, who's got 50 billion plays is this person. You should do their music. It's like, why? Why would I be that person? Is that my whole life? Is just like, that's like if I were to say like, hey, you know, you like, you know, being a butcher, you should go work for Meijer. And it's like, no, maybe they want to open their own butcher shop. Maybe they want to work for a certain, you know, like supplier for a certain type of restaurant, or I don't know. It's like, oh, you like, you know, I see people in, I'm trying to think of an industry that would make sense. It's like, oh, wow, you really, you know, I see that you drive cars, and, you know, the most expensive cars seem to be these Lamborghinis. You should definitely sell those. It's like, but the dude's driving around in like a classic Mustang or something. Like, clearly he's got a passion for classic cars. Why would he go out and buy or try and be a merchant for, you know, Lamborghinis? You know, it's like telling people like, I get it. Like, you want, like, they're doing success. Why you should do that? It's like, well, I can't do that though. That the system that makes these things possible is not what I'm currently in. I'm not, you know, a 15-year-old who's getting scooped up by a management label and then kind of morphed into a pop artist, and like with the ad capacity too. Like half of why people know about people is advertising. There's like, oh, there's Dua Lipa drinking a Coca-Cola. There's Bruno Mars at the Super Bowl that one year. Oh, there's, Katy Perry on a yacht and it's in a Corona commercial. Like it's like people are aware of stuff that's happening because there's systems and teams of people all just peppering you all the time. I mean, ads right now for social media, it's like they get it and you just hear like, and you're like, what was that? It was, I guess that was for Grubhub or, I'm trying to think of the, oh, there it is. Like State Farm, they've made this jingle, and you're like, neighbor, State Farm is there. They only need to do that, and they could just have it be any sort of. They could just throw it. They could put a backbeat on it. They could, just kind of toss it in like, I don't know, and then it's a 5-second YouTube ad for insurance. So, you can't please everybody, is the moral of this story. It doesn't matter if you're an ad company, you're just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Same if you're an artist. You just do what you love doing, and the people who love that too are going to follow you. And you can make a career having, like 3,000 dedicated people following you. Honestly, like you could make a career out, like if you have, 3,000 people in your life that every time you put something out, every time you do something, they're going to be supportive. Like look at May Erlewine, look at Seth Bernard. They've earned their Michigan musician stripes, and people invest back into them. Seth Bernard just did a Kickstarter because he just wants, I don't even know what it was for. I just know it involved music and helping people. And he I think he got over $10,000 past his goal. So there's people out there that want to support something that you might think is just in this little nook and cranny, something that's on the shelf, some random, passion project of yours. And you just got to do it. And you just got to not, you got to fall on your face. You got to make mistakes. You got to keep putting it out there, even when it's, it's like, oh, only 5 people looked at this out of the whole internet. I have 2,000 friends. Why are only 5 people look? It's like, those thoughts are going to come up, but you just go like, algorithms. It's like, I'll learn it. I'll learn marketing. I'll learn whatever eventually. Or you find someone who can help you with that. But this has been a PSA kind of podcast today. So, I don't know. Go out there. What is my call to action? What is my prompt to you as the listener? The person who's looking at me going, I learned some things. What do I do with it? Talk to other people about it, Maybe you can make your first move towards something you like doing that's happy and not just purely for survival. Because, I don't know, if you don't try, what's the point? If you do try for enough time and it doesn't work out, you can at least say like, hey, I tried, and maybe that experience leads to something else. I had heard another quote that was like, people give up on their dreams when they're 25 and they live into their 80s. So think about that. You have a whole life where you can make, an impression, make your own little, passion project, carve out a little piece of this earth for yourself creatively. And, just surround yourself with the people that, are gonna pour back into you and push you to do things and be supportive when you want to take rest and, you know, all that good stuff that comes with the community. But now we're back to more soul. As we wrap up this podcast, feel free to like and subscribe. Share this with your family and friends. Go over onto the Patreon. Patreon.com/Snedeker. It's in the description. Just look at my name on a platform. You type in Duchess Snedeker on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Oh, I dropped a beat there, but wherever you type in my name, I'm trying to populate the internet with my name, so wherever you go, you find it, because search engine optimization is at least a little bit easier when your name is not as common as, you know, like John Smith. And to all you John Smiths out there, you keep going, baby. You keep finding that rhythm, finding the flow, going to do what John Smiths do. Whatever you're going to do, wherever you're going to do it. I'm leaving you here with those words of wisdom. We will see you next week with some more of the Duchess Snedeker podcast. How do I end this? Oh no. I'm just holding that note and then people are going to be like, why is he doing that? I'm ending the podcast. Okay, we're going to end the podcast right here.